warm-ups, vocal warm-ups. Hello, hello. How's it going? Hope you're well. Welcome to Tales from the Void with me, Adam Jowett. I'm an actor, writer, filmmaker, and I do lots of other things as well, like talking about this thing, talking about staying sober, talking about being creative, and play some horror games as well. That's the loose structure. It's an ongoing experiment, and I'm going to call this episode 1. Even though we've done loads so far, I'm going to call this officially episode 1. I'm not, this isn't live. This is an experiment. So there was no one on Twitch, and part of me thought that's all right because I quite like to just ramble on anyway. So if a random person comes into the chat, as welcome as they are, don't get me wrong, it can kind of, especially if they're a bit weird or they're just trying to sell me something or take me to a dirty link, you know, that can sort of derail the stream a bit. And, you know, necessity is the mother of invention. So I thought I'll go to a pre-recorded podcast, if you want to call it a podcast, and then I can speak about a few things. And at the end, I'm going to play a game. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. If you don't know me from Adam, I'm Adam. If you do know me as Adam, hello again. I appreciate you coming back. You're very welcome here. There'll always be a space reserved, especially for you. For the one person that I don't know if it's the same person. I imagine it's the same person that likes every video that I upload. I see you and I appreciate you. My number one fan, as far as I'm concerned. You get a place in the executive lounge, wherever that may be in the future. There'll be a Ferrero Rocher with your name on it. I can assure you of that, and a nice cold glass of Umbongo probably, or you know, any other drinks are available. So yes, thank you for tuning in. I'm going to talk about some stuff. Some of it is a bit heavy, some of it is not so heavy. Some of it's about addiction and drinking. Some of it's about films, and some of it's about improv. And then at the end, we're going to have a great laugh and play The Walking Dead. So. Also, you can skip ahead. You can see what's this chapter about. Nah, that's too depressing. That's sad. Not like that. What's this? You know, you choose. You pick and choose. So yeah, the reason I'm off today, let's do this little stinger because that's what they're here for. So yeah, slightly more serious topic. There's no real way to segue into this other than, for those of you that know me, I'm sober. I've been sober for 6 years in February, at the end of February. And it has been a great journey. I've learned a lot. I've been going to meetings, all that kind of stuff. There's other videos about that if you want to watch them. But this sort of conversation is more about family members that suffer with addiction and my kind of sort of lessons that I've had to learn about accepting other people's addiction for what it is. And when you get sober, there's a lot of talk about seeing it as an illness and how choice is a bit of a fallacy in a lot of ways, because you can look at someone with a drinking problem and go, you got a problem, mate. Stop drinking. Just stop it. This thing that you're doing, the thing that you're putting into your body, it's not good for you specifically. And other people around you are having a great time, but you it's affecting you a bit differently to everybody else. You don't know when to stop. You keep going and then you bloody well hurt yourself, and then you're hurting other people around you. But the thing with alcoholism is it's the only disease that tells you that you don't have it. With any other disease, you got a broken leg. The person with the broken leg goes, fuck, my leg is broke. That is broken to fuck. What are we going to do about this, doc? Wrap a bandage around it. You know, I'll put my feet up. I'll put my one good foot up on a chair and rest it and let it heal. and then I probably won't go jumping off a tree like that again. But the recovery process is very simple. I have this problem, fix it for me, thank you, and then I'll be on my way. With addiction, the waters are very murky. As I say, it tells you that you're okay, or that next time it'll be different. Whereas the people around you know that this pattern keeps repeating itself again and again and again, and it can get harder to watch this person who you love and is in a lot of ways is responsible for you. You know, that shift between parent and child, when does that it's a hard day, that, isn't it, when you realize that, oh, they're not really looking out for me as I'd like. That's a hard realization to come to. And then when the roles start getting reversed, you go, oh, wait, I'm not the parent. I'm not. Why? How did this happen? How are you in that position and I'm now here? And that can lead to a lot of resentment. It can lead to a lot of bitterness and anger. And it's something that I'm experiencing recently, very recently, actually. So I don't want to get bogged down with the details because it's just, I don't think it's appropriate. So the resentment builds up, and I'm now just having to find a way of showing up, protecting my boundaries, showing up for the other people around this family member, and kind of be part of this support network, whilst also acknowledging that there is a lot of frustration there. There's kind of a sort of blasé attitude about it, even though it's quite serious. There's that part of me which is like, well, you know, if it all works out, probably going to happen again, probably be worse. So let's just be prepared for that. It's it feels almost sociopathic. That's partly how I feel at the moment. The fact that this is going on and I'm choosing to make a video about it or just talk about it. There's a part of me that thinks hopefully this will resonate with some people. Maybe you have similar issues with family members. But the main thing that I'm grateful for is that going to AA meetings, it helps you to just remove yourself from the equation, not to make it about you, because it's not about me. There's an illness here. This person doesn't realize quite how ill they are. They might have an idea, but the illness itself, it robs you of reason. It robs you of agency or seeming agency, which is why the first step of the 12-step program is we acknowledged that we were powerless over alcohol. We admitted to ourselves and to others that we were powerless over alcohol, something like that. I've not done them. No, I have. And so it's just, it's hard to watch, but going to the meetings gives you that third person perspective, because you're looking at other people in the room and you're like, yeah, well, yes, I've been that person. There's part of me which still believes that I wasn't a fully fledged alcoholic. I still believe that. I still think that other people look at me and they go, well, he's not really an alcoholic. He's just had a drinking problem. And then he just went a bit extreme and decided to stop drinking completely. Someone has actually said that to me. It's a bit extreme, isn't it? Going to 12-step meetings. Yeah. Well, you know, the blunt version of that is, well, I didn't want to be around anymore. So I thought that was quite extreme. Hence the, trying to do something about it. And it's elusive, this idea that alcohol could be that damaging, because it's so heavily ingrained into culture, into social norms, that the waters are so murky. It's not black and white. Like, the way I look at alcoholism is I have a fucked up relationship with alcohol. That's it. It's as simple as that. When I first got sober, there was these checkpoints in my mind of like, do I do this? Do I do that? Do I drink in the morning? No. I have done, but I don't do it all the time. Do I get drunk before work? No. I mean, I've been a bit half cut from the night before, but there's all these sort of pre-imposed standards on what alcoholism is. And the turning point for me was that binge drinking is a form of alcoholism. That was the first thing that the guy on the phone said to me when I phoned AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, not the recovery service, although they both offer very similar things. But the point is, he said to me, when you start drinking, do you have a hard time stopping? And I said, yes, absolutely. He said, well, that sounds to me like binge drinking, and binge drinking is a form of alcoholism. And then he said to me, and this was the turning point, the only prerequisite, the only thing required for you to attend an AA meeting is the desire to stop drinking. And that for me that gave me ownership. It gave me agency. It gave me the feeling of, okay, someone here has given me, it's like I needed permission to attend these meetings. Because when I first looked up, I started looking for help. The first thing I Googled was binge drinking support groups, because I'm not an alcoholic, I'm a binge drinker. There's a big difference for me. But the difference is it's academic, really, what that difference is for that person. Like, the bottom line is, do you want to stop drinking? Is it affecting your health? Is it having a damaging effect on your self-esteem, on your confidence, on your well-being, on the way you perceive yourself, on the way you just navigate life? Are you dependent on it? That's the criteria, is that really, not have you crashed the car, have you done something horrific, which I think is what a lot of people are waiting around for, sadly. And if those incidents, the thing with alcoholism is those incidents, they just get worse. They get worse and worse and worse until you hit rock bottom. And then maybe that rock bottom isn't as bottom as you think it could be. Maybe next time there's a new low. So that was another thing that that was the chair. I didn't fart. I'd own it if I farted, don't worry. And I wouldn't edit it out. I would never edit out a fart. Excuse me. Yeah, there's always a new rock bottom. There's always going to be a new rock bottom until death. You just keep digging. There's so many more rock bottoms, I'm sure, because I've seen them, and it's a progressive illness. It only gets worse, and with me, it was only getting worse. And there's a point where you have to put the shovel down, as someone said to me. But you choose when you put the shovel down. It's not a competition. You're not in competition with anyone else in the meetings. There's no comparison. You only identify with what other people are saying. There's a collective non-judgment, and everyone has a right to be there if they want to stop drinking. That's all you need. And so it's a tricky balance for me, because a lot of the AA prayer is, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So the question is, can I change this person I love, this person who, raised me? Can I change this person? How many more times am I going to try and change them? And how many more times am I going to try and make peace with what is happening? And that is the uncomfortable, like my legs are straddling both of them to the point where my testicles are almost in half. It's not comfortable. It's not simple. But what does make it more simple is just coming back to that place of compassion and patience. Interventions they happen, don't they? people do respond to interventions, often with a lot of resistance, which is why interventions are so like focused. It's like a fucking attack, because the person in question is so away with the fairies that, or deluded, or convinced that they don't have a problem, that you need that. What's going on with the contrast here? I think it's all right. Are we okay? Are we okay? It's a bit dark. Why is it doing that? Because it's got auto contrast on. Anyway, that's kind of all I wanted to say about that, I think. And if you are having problems with family members or people that are close to you, help is at hand. It doesn't fall entirely on your shoulders to change them, to fix them. You're not responsible for the choices they make. Everyone has their own agency. And the first step to getting help is just admitting that you've got a problem. However you navigate that there's no rule book. There's no, I wish I had a sort of step-by-step guide of how to fight that illness. But I think first and foremost, compassion, it just goes a long way. So I see you if you're watching this and you're going through some struggles. I know it's not easy, which is why it's important for me to just keep going to those meetings and keep getting that perspective on the bigger picture. It's not about me. It's not about what I want. Sometimes it's just about treating it as an illness, seeing this person as someone who is ill and they're convinced they're not ill, which just adds another sort of interesting dimension. But just keep showing up, man. Keep showing up. The rest will happen as it happens. So that's that. What's next? What have we got next? Oh yeah. Yes, creativity. I chatted about an improv group that I did. It was an improv jam. That's the distinction here I want to make. I went to an improv jam a couple of times, and then this week just gone, I went to an improv taster class, which was very different vibe. The main difference being the jam, no teacher, just someone saying, let's play this game. And then everyone just sort of throws himself headfirst into this game, and it's fun. Don't get me wrong, it's fun, but I kind of felt like I'm just throwing myself into these things that I feel I'm winging, and sometimes I'm getting laughs. Sometimes I'm stumbling onto good ideas with improv. I think there's a lot to be said for, as I've said before, getting out of this prefrontal lobe, the critic, the part that's trying to sort of control or protect or just kind of, make something interesting. Getting out of that and connecting with somebody else, throwing yourself headfirst into something, regardless of where it's going to go. There's a lot to be said for that. That is a muscle that you can train. But I think now having that comparison, I think my foot is in the camp of I want to know exactly how to do this well. And so the taster class that I went to on Monday, it was so good. I left, I was just buzzing afterwards because I was like, this is something I think I could get really good at this, because this teacher was great and he really broke down the do's and don'ts. It was only 2 hours, but it was like just a taster of this course that you could sign up for 8 weeks. And just a few things that I picked up from that, I was like, oh, that's how you do it better. For example, starting off a scene and just establishing where you are, what your relationship is, and a bit more information about that. and including the other person in that. So I think, this is just my limited experience so far. I'm very much at the beginning of my journey with this, but there's a lot when you're just sort of doing it fine by the seat of your pants. That's not really established, and you're just kind of, it seems like you're just treading water, or you go weird right out the gate. You just get weird, get funny right out the gate. Whereas with the classes, it's more about giving yourself those seemingly boring moments at the beginning that seem very clunky and expositional, which is one of the exercises he did. He said, I just want you to treat this as just an exercise where you say exactly where you are, what your relationship is, very literally. Like a cardinal sin with writing is show, don't tell. So don't tell the audience. But with improv, it's tell them exactly where you are, who you're with, and then that gives you a very fertile ground to build on. It's like it's a grounding exercise where you and the other character can meet. You can, rather than ask them, who are you? What are you doing here? You can dictate the scene rather than sort of treading water and wasting time trying to ask questions, or not really offering anything back. But the idea that you are in full control of what the audience see, what your partner is doing, it just gives it so much more momentum. And then once that dropped for me, once the penny dropped with that, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm invested. I'm here for the long haul, and I just want to get better at it. So yeah, there's a lot to be said for the difference between the jam and a comedy course. I'll keep going to the improv jam. I do think it's fun. I do think you learn more as you go, depending on who, because someone different does it each week. So some people are more experienced than others. Some people will literally say, here's the game, play it, have fun. Whereas other people might say, okay, just remember that, blah, 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 blah. Or you might want to think about doing this, just to help people along, give them some sort of structure. Where I think that's the thing I need. I've got a good background in performing and timing, and I think I've got a lot of good instincts and experience. But for me, it's about the structure. It's about the technical aspects of what makes a good improviser. He said something about Will Ferrell in Anchorman. There's a particular school of improv or technique. Let me just see if it will come up here. From America. And that's just a massive spelling clusterfuck, Adam. Even the computer doesn't know what you mean there. Improv techniques, American. No, I don't think I'm going to find it. Anyway, it's the... No, that's not them. That's not them. Anyway, it's all the people on SNL, SNL, not SNL Live. That'd be Saturday Night Live. Even more live than live. It's Tina Fey, Will Ferrell, loads of other people. Like America is just they're hardwired for that muscle of what comedic just improvisation and just coming out with these gems just right off the bat. And he said something like, Will Ferrell does this thing where he'll just say exactly what's going on. It's like he's so just literal with what's going on, and that can be quite funny. But he said, like for example, he said, "Oh, we are all best friends." Or Steve Carell, I stabbed a guy in the heart with a trident. Said, "I saw that." Yes, and I saw that. You're probably going to want to lay low for a while. You're probably wanted for murder. The literal calling out of what is happening or what has happened. So this particular teacher's got just so much knowledge and good points of reference as to what makes improvisation good. Yeah, you know, reference Monty Python and all the sort of classic comedians, which for me, there's nothing really better than distilling all the elements of comedy, getting up on stage with one other person, and once you know that framework, allowing stuff to happen off the cuff and for it to be entertaining and well executed. That's the holy land for me. If I could make a living doing that, oh, bon appetit. So yeah, I'll keep going with that. I'm going to try and sign up to this course, depending on timings and things like that. I've got a holiday booked, so I don't know if it'll align quite yet. But you know, I'll keep checking in. I'll keep telling you my progress. And yes, if you're interested in improv, I highly recommend it. It's just good fun. The teacher said one of his first classes was in a sort of community center type thing, and a woman came in and they were mid exercise, and the woman came in and was like, I'm sorry. He's like, it's okay, just join in, we're just mid game. And they were playing this ridiculous game, and then about 10 minutes later the woman said, I'm so sorry, I've got to interrupt, but this isn't the support group for people who are terminally ill, is it? And the guy was like, no, I'm so sorry, I should have checked. That's down the hall to the right. She was like, oh no, it's fine. She went off, and then she came back the next week and kept doing it. She said she used to be an actor, and she went in that incident of going into the wrong room sort of rekindled that need for play, that need for connection with other people. It's healing. I think it's so overlooked and undervalued, the need that we have to play as adults, when so much, you know, that's the time when we should be playing the most, because life is just so fucking it could be quite grim, can't it, sometimes, you know? So this is the time that we need those outlets to just get in a room and make a tit of yourself. It's all play, as Alan Watts says. It's all play. Anyway, enough about that. I'm going to talk about a film very briefly, because I don't have a lot to say on it, and I don't want to get too... Anyway, here it is. I'll shut up. Anora. By bloody Anora. Bloody Anora. I want to talk about Anora, in case you didn't guess from me saying Anora lots and lots of times just then. Anora is a film by Sean Baker. I think she recently won the Oscar. The actress, actor. I don't. Is it actor? Can I say actress? I don't know. The actor is called. I forget her name. She's good. She's decent. I liked her in Better Things. This isn't about her. This is not a criticism of her acting. It's not necessarily a critique, or it is a critique of the film. That is what it is. It's exactly what it is. I had a lot of hype about this film. One person in particular whose opinion I respect, and they've got great taste as far as I'm concerned. And so I went in with a mind of expectation, and I don't know, this is the grey area for me. When someone recommends a film to you, how many times does your excitement match their excitement about it? How often does that happen? I don't think it's ever happened with me when someone has said, oh my God, you need to watch this film. It's fucking incredible. And then I've watched it and gone, oh my God, you're right. It is fucking incredible. I can't think of a time where that's happened. So maybe there's a bit of a curse where someone recommends a film and then subconsciously your brain goes, it can't be that good. Their film taste is not better than mine. I'm the person with the good taste here, not you. I'm going to find a problem with it. So maybe that's what's happened, but I don't think it is, because I've sort of been percolating this for a while. I watched it ages ago, so I can't, you know, my memory is a bit hazy as to what the details are. If you've not heard of Anora, it's basically about a core girl ends up meeting a Russian oligarch's son who's very young, very rich. he pays for sexy time with her. He just keeps paying money. They develop a connection. They go on a sort of joyride all over New York, is it? Wherever it is. And then it sort of slowly starts to fizzle out and decline. It starts to go like that. So it goes up like that. It goes up like that at the really, really exciting times. Loads of money, loads of just opulence and sex and just having a great time together. And then eventually he's like, and then they get married. That's right, they get married. And Mickey, the actress's name is, he tries to introduce her to the family. He's very powerful, rich family from back home. And they intervene, like, you're not marrying her, she's a sex worker, she's not good enough, this is ridiculous. And then so his dad's sort of henchmen come over to find him and break this marriage up and just give him a clip around the ear and say, what the fuck are you doing? You bring shame on this family. And she's like, hey, who do you think you are? I'm nothing to be ashamed about. I'm a fucking woman, bitch. Don't fuck around with me. She's very outspoken. She's very aggressive. She's from the Bronx, I think. I think she's from the Bronx in New York City. And so she doesn't take any shit from anybody. And I think that's empowering. Just to see a woman doing that, I think is great. It's not about that. That's not what my criticism is. The story itself has been told. We've seen Pretty Woman. We've seen things of that nature. There's a romance there told for a new audience. It's a romantic story. It looks great. It's very exciting. There's a great energy to it. But for me, where it falls down is it gets way about halfway through. And I'll hold my hands up. I skipped through a lot of the second half because I got very bored. It's the particular midpoint for me is when they're at the lad's house. She's there, Mickey is there, and the dad's henchmen come to the house. They sort of break their way in. The long and short of it is they're like, show us your marriage certificate. Like, we need to believe this is real. They go upstairs. Mickey is sort of left, sort of sitting. Like, what the fuck is going on? And then he shows the henchman the marriage certificate, and he's like, fucking hell, I can't believe you've done this. There's a bit of a kerfuffle. The lad does one, leaves Mickey there. She gets sort of like into a scrap with one of the henchmen. She gets sort of tied up and gagged because she's just fucking irate and screaming and blah, 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 blah. The lad does one, and then they're like, where the fuck is he? We should go and find him. And then, so they all get in a car and they go and find him. That scene, I think that took half an hour. And for me, that is just it's not cool, man. It's not cool. I don't think that is good acting. I'm not saying that they are bad actors. I'm saying the direction for me and the fact that Sean Baker has complete agency over this film and didn't see that this is plot and then there's plot and then there's just fucking self-indulgence. You're getting your actors to not literally, unless it's Titanic, tread water in this scene, which could have been told in 5-10 minutes. We don't need it was just constant shouting, swearing. Hey, what's going on? Hey, no, don't talk to her like that. Hey, what's going on? You don't got to talk to me like that, you bitch. Sure, you're a bitch, blah, 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 blah. Oh, it just kept like a fucking Curb Your Enthusiasm episode, like, which, again, it sticks to plot. Sometimes the scenes get too long. Like, come on, let's fucking move on. Because after a while, it just gets stressful for the watcher. And then you start questioning the integrity of the filmmaker because the filmmaker's just fucking wanking over how good he thinks the acting is. And it's not. The actors are only as good as the direction. You're not giving them enough to do because we're just repeating ourselves here. Like, where's the story going? Let's move the story along. And the story itself was fucking dumb anyway, because I think he just goes out the front door, like mid-argument. And like, hey, where you going? Where you going? Where you going? And I don't know what, he just mumbles something and he's away. Like, well, what? Why don't you just fucking go after him? What, you know? The simple fix there is that he goes upstairs, he says, right, I'll go and get the marriage certificate, don't worry. And then they're waiting. And then he goes upstairs and checks the bedroom, you know, goes in the bedroom, the window's open, and he's fucking legging it down the road. That's it, job done. That's, okay, thank you, next scene. Move the fuck on. Edit the film, shoot in another bit of the house, rather than just fucking sitting in this soup of shit for half an hour. Get on with it. Fucking come on. And then there's a few scenes where they're driving around looking for the lad. She goes into this shop that they used to go in, and then it's like a fucking Benny Hill sketch. They basically go to this location, smash the place up, it devolves into an argument, move on somewhere else. Oh, we're going to sit in the car for a bit. Then something's going to devolve into an argument again. Then we're going to devolve into another argument. Then we're going to start shouting at each other. Then we're going to devolve. And then after a while, you just stop caring. You're like, well, I don't care if they find this kid. The kid's obviously a piece of shit. She's just on this one note all the time of like belligerent, fucking hard-faced. Until the very end, where there's a change in tone. There's, you know, which I won't spoil for anyone. But by the time you got there, you're like, you've not offered me anything really, in terms of what is, you know, essentially a character study. You want the characters to be interesting, to have something else to say. And that doesn't hold up if the plot isn't there, if the filmmaker isn't there going, okay, we've told this part of the story now. We're not getting any more information for the viewer. So the viewer is left just to sort of withstand this barrage of shouting. And it's just not, it's not dynamic. It's not interesting. It's not disciplined. It's lazy. And I think people mistake that level of emotion for good acting. I don't think it's good acting. I don't think it's good direction, more importantly. As I say, I think all the actors are good and they did well, for what my opinion's worth. But I have a hard time watching films that are just, the actors are just let off the leash and the director just sits behind the camera, just, you know, basically just thinking, oh, this is making what a piece of art this is. And obviously I'm in the minority because she won an Oscar. Again, good performance, bad direction. Anyway, I'm going to look at some reviews here and see if anyone agrees with my hot take on this. Maybe you disagree with me. There's another film called Uncut Gems, which I had similar issues with. Films like that are just stressful to watch. And the stress comes from, like, I'm just sitting here watching people shout, watching people have a very bad time. What is the story telling me? And then by the time you get to the end, you're like, okay, that's what the story's doing, but I don't care now. It's too late. It's too little too late. You've robbed me of that time where you could have told that story. Get rid of 45 minutes. 45 minutes of that film was not needed. You can quote me on that. Fucking come at me if you think I'm wrong. Come at me, bro. I've been to the gym quite a lot recently, and I've got a PT. I'll fucking give you one of them. I'll give you a knuckle sani. Let's have a look. Let's go to the 4-star reviews. Anora was a solid movie that was surprisingly heartbreaking, despite having to hunt this movie down. Yes, you're going to see lots of sex and immaturity and hubris and chaos and New York on screen, but you might be surprised by the deeper connection that unfolds in an unlikely place. Mickey Madison is not Mickey, I'm not sure. Not only glorious to watch, but her supporting cast gives as much. It could have used another round of editing. No shit. Sherlock Holmes. Some of the searching for Vanya sequences was starting to get tedious. Vanya is the young lad. but you actually do witness the evolution of a young woman into adulthood. Just because she's going through the motions of playing an adult didn't make her one. The same, possibly a spoiler, can't be said for the emotionally stunted Vanya. It's an interesting story, given that arc, where one lad is sort of giving it the big un, thinking that he wants love, but he's so immature and just sort of void of emotional maturity. He just sort of flatlines a bit, whereas she does have an arc, but it just takes a while for her to get there, and she's kind of forced into that, learning those hard lessons. Well, as I say, it starts off up there. It's all great. There's a huge energy and this sort of celebration of just partying and having a great time, and then to come down from that, I think is a good. It's very, that's watchable. But the tedious long scenes without any edits, it's the style over substance for me. Doesn't work for me, and filmmakers should know better. But if it wins an Oscar, I'm just shouting into the void again, aren't I? Really. More Tales from the Void. More audience reviews. Let's see the 1 stars, please, so I feel seen and heard. Like my opinion is valid. The Me Too movement, let's not go down that road. Anora is a frustratingly hollow film that prioritizes superficial aesthetics over meaningful storytelling. While it boasts moments of visual flair, the film collapses under the weight of its implausible plot, undeveloped characters, and a tone that can't decide whether it wants to be a gritty drama or farcical satire. The narrative, which hinges on absurd twists and contrived scenarios, feels more like a series of disjointed ideas than a cohesive story. The characters are thinly written, making it impossible to invest in their journeys. The lead performance, though technically competent, is undermined by a script that gives her little to work with. Yes, I agree with you, Jaboye Alam Rudro. Joe Bayer, I agree with you wholeheartedly. She's given very little to work with. The most disappointing is how the movie squanders its potential. It tries to tackle themes of love, ambition, and identity, but ends up feeling shallow and pretentious. The Oscar win is baffling. It lacks the emotional depth and authenticity that define truly great cinema. Anora is a prime example of style over substance. Just said it, Jabuya. Leaving viewers more annoyed than moved. A forgettable film with an undeserved spotlight. Yep. I've just read one of your other reviews that said Anora was most likely the best film they had ever seen. I thought they should go get medical help immediately. I believe it may be the worst film I've ever seen. My takeaway is that I signed up for a membership with Regal, and if I watch a horrible movie, I can get back 2 hours later and watch some other movie at no extra cost. The time spent with Anora, I can never get back. If you were a 12-year-old male who dreamed of having sex someday and playing video games during sex, then this would be a cinematic masterpiece. Can't disagree with you. It was the stupidest no-plot movie I've ever seen. There must have been a Russian-American creator, director, producer that said, I wonder what Americans are into. I bet they'll like this. No, I don't think they're Russian. Sean Baker, I don't think is Russian. They like flashy stuff. They'll like disco lights, snorting coke. They like sex scenes that really, they'll just, in their defenses. I guess the writers in general, they just, yeah. Again, the 12-year-old me would have very different views on this film. After trudging through this overly long movie last night, it's hard to believe it won the Palme d'Or at Cannes and it is nominated for an Oscar. The third part of the film is sexy and cute. Is Annie and Ivan get to know each other? Yeah, that's one of the henchmen. That's the next phase of the story that comes in the final act, but it's too little too late by that point. At that point, I was literally just skipping through just reams and reams of inconsequential dialogue that didn't serve the story nor the character. Right, so I think that's that. I think I've made my points. I think I've said everything I want to say about that. I'm not pissing on Sean Baker. He seems like a... Oh, hang on. What was that then? Control and M. What's happening there? You know, Sean Baker, I saw his acceptance speech. Seems like a lovely fella. You know, it's not, there's nothing malicious about this. I just have very strong opinions on what I think good filmmaking is. And for the reasons I've just said, it doesn't warrant the amount of hype and the amount of applause that it's gotten. It doesn't warrant that, because a better filmmaker would know that just storytelling in general, just try and stick to the story rather than people resorting, actors, rather than actors having to resort to shouting. It was exhausting to watch. And that's all I have to say about that. Okay, that's that. If you liked Anora, please let me know your comments below. If you didn't like Anora, also let me know. Am I being unreasonable? Am I being unfair? I don't think so. I think I've been quite articulate and intelligent about the whole affair, and mature, you know. So let's play a game. Okay, we're back. We are back with The Walking Dead. I can't remember where I was up to, but I can assure you zombies were involved. Let's jump back in and see where we are.
Clementine, are you all right? Luke's not with you?
Where's Alvin?
What happened? It's been hours. Where are they?
We got attacked.
By who?
Walkers.
Jesus.
Pete got killed.
Pete was the old fella. Nick was the fella who had a drink problem, if you remember. So I can't remember what happened to Nick. I think I left Nick on his own.
I was with Nick, but...
My God.
He liked to drink.
Where were you? Where were you exactly?
Down by the stream.
We gotta go.
Just hold on a minute.
My husband is still out there. Get the guns.
Nick is her husband. Didn't know that. That's new information.
Luke and Alvin went out looking for you. I told them not to go. Damn it, Luke.
Clementine, can you please watch Sarah? She's upstairs. Just distract her and don't tell her anything.
I'll take care of her.
Don't worry.
You can trust me.
Thank you. You'll be safe inside. Just don't open the doors for anything. We'll be back soon. And thank you.
You got it, boss. I'm going to lock this down. Probably going to make myself a sandwich, put my feet up for a bit, but you can rest assured, she does not go anywhere without my say-so. Have yourself a good time. You have yourself a good night. Have yourself a good night. Right, what is in the cupboards, please?
Say cheese! I found this under the house. There was all kinds of old stuff. It's so cool. Take one of me. Come on, take one of me.
Sure.
Well, I was about to make a
Be in
sandwich.
a good pose, okay?
Wasn't expecting to have to play with you. I thought you were just going to stay upstairs. I can have the run of the house. But I'll take a picture of you. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay, I'm ready. Take it.
Cheese.
What's wrong? Where's my dad?
There.
Clem, you're scaring me.
Do you know what?
You should know what's going on.
I'm going to treat you like an adult. It's the best approach in these scenarios. I'm going to build trust. I'm not going to patronise you. Your dad is dead. He's not dead. He might die. So just be prepared for that. But he's out. He went
told
out.
you not to tell me, didn't he?
He is in trouble.
Oh my gosh. What happened? Clem? What's going on?
Everyone's gone. It's bad.
See how she deals with that? Just test the water. We went straight in there. We didn't really test the water. We dove in, didn't we? We didn't. Hopefully she doesn't lose her shit over that, because that's some heavy duty stuff. Have a sit down. Yeah, have a sit down. It's a normal response. Let's sit down on the floor. Better?
You want to see what I found?
Sure. Oh, that's a relief.
Will you show me how to use it? I couldn't find any bullets. If something's wrong, I should know. What if I have to use one?
No, we're going to draw the
It's too
line there.
dangerous.
Everything is dangerous. I need to know sometimes.
Right, now if she ends up using this gun anyway, I'm not going to be happy with this game. I want actual choices matter. I don't want some horrible thing to happen because of this gun. I've told her no to the gun. Gun is a no. Give me agency over this decision, please, game.
You should let your dad teach you.
What should I shoot?
She's going to kill some...
Don't do that!
She's going to kill...
Sorry. Maybe I could practice outside.
Maybe
There's
put the
that
gun
tree.
down. I'm not comfortable with you holding the gun like that.
Hey, Luke's back.
Ah. Oh, got a bad feeling about that. Very, very bad. Very, very bad. Who goes there? No one. Don't be scared. Someone else out there. Quite suspicious, I am
That's
thinking.
not Luke.
Fucking hell.
Clem, I think I know him. He can't see me. You have to make him go away.
Who is he?
Who is he? I don't remember.
Hello?
Clem, I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
Okay, don't lose your shit, please. Don't lose your shit.
Hello?
Can you tell me who was there, please?
Anybody home? Hello?
Let's see what happens if I don't do anything. He's going to open it anyway, so that's a pointless choice. Get out, I have a gun.
Get out of here, now.
Is that how your dad taught you to greet a neighbor?
I've got a gun.
A smart girl. I would too.
I don't
But
trust
I'm
him.
not a bad guy, honey. Promise you that.
I don't trust you
My family
one
and I are
bit.
set up a ways downriver. I'm kind of surprised we haven't run into each other yet. What's your name?
Barbara.
What's your name?
Barbara Dixon.
My name is George, honey.
Fuck that. I'm not shaking your hand.
Pleasure to meet you.
Think I'm going to shake your hand? You're having a laugh.
You mind if I come in for a bit?
Actually,
I've been out all morning.
I
and
do
the
mind.
heat has got me cooked.
Fuck
yes,
off.
I do mind.
This is a nice place. Is there anyone else around? You don't usually see cabins this big out here.
We have a big
We
group,
have a
mate.
big group.
And they'll be
Lots.
back very, very
Oh.
soon.
How big?
Dozens. They'll be back soon.
And they left you here all alone. They must trust you. Well, I'll cut to the chase. I'm out looking for my people. 7 of them, to be exact.
Hmm?
They've been gone a long while, and I'm worried they might have gotten lost.
That sounds like a
Maybe
you.
you've seen them.
Sounds
Couple
like
of
a
farm
you
boys.
problem.
Man,
than a me
Spanish guy
problem.
and his daughter. Quiet girl. Bit taller than you. Big black guy. This big.
That isn't it.
Pretty little pregnant lady.
I don't like you.
That's a lot of people to lose.
Tell me about it. This whole damn thing's a pain in the ass.
I said I didn't want you to come in the house and you're here just wandering around like you fucking own the place, mate. I think you're being rude and I think you need to leave before things get really dark. Yeah? Satisfied?
Well, looks like a damn tornado ran through here.
More insults to injury.
People with you?
More.
That was a nice little
Just passing through, or you been here
bit
a
of
while?
behaviour there.
Hey, listen, kid. I hope you're not one of those nuts headed up north.
Let's not grab the knife. Let's just
Where
keep
do you
it.
live?
Yeah, down by the river there. There's a sweet little spot with a boat where we pitched camp. Got a few tents up and everything else. And
Oh, wants me to
like
grab
I
the
said,
knife,
I'm
doesn't it?
Surprised we haven't run into each other.
What kind of
What
tents?
kind of tents?
Put him on the back
orange
foot.
ones. Why?
Just wondering.
Grab the knife. No. I should have grabbed the knife, really.
Where does this go?
I'll take it, thank you.
Oh, I'll take it.
Well, it's a real nice place. Kind of cozy.
I'd like you to leave, please.
I knew a guy that always wore shirts like this. Doctor. Real smug son of a bitch.
I
I don't care.
You know, you're really not very polite for a little girl.
And you're not very polite for an adult. This is my house.
Fair point.
Good for you, Clem.
Well, well. White's in trouble. 3 moves away from checkmate.
Excuse me.
What was that?
I farted.
I thought you said nobody's here.
Nobody is here.
Is here.
You have no right to be on my property, sir. Excuse me. You have no right to be going up those stairs like that when I've asked you not to, sir. You have no right to be looking down there like that when I've asked you not to be in my house, sir. You have no right to be going in that door. I've asked you not to go in that door. Sir, you're starting to get on my last nerve. And if it carries on, I'm going to have to thump
I
you
told you,
in the-
nobody's here.
in the back.
Seems that way.
And I'm not afraid to do that.
Rude. Couldn't just leave you here with a good conscience if someone was poking around, right?
Sure.
Who's this?
Mm-hmm. No.
Well, it's a kid.
Yeah. Looks like it was taken in this room.
Oh, shit. Excuse me. I have to leave now. I've done a poo. That would do it, I think.
You have no idea who these people are, do you?
How do you
you know them?
Let me ask you this. When you met them, how much did they trust you?
Well, they locked me up
That's
in
true.
a shed.
If people don't trust you, how can you trust them?
They do trust me now. Trust has to be earned,
Well, I
quite
think I've
frankly.
troubled you long enough. I can let myself out.
Don't come back,
Don't come back.
asshole.
You have a real good day now.
You'll remember this. Remember it. Write down, take a picture. I don't give a fuck. Get out my house, bitch.
Where is he? He's gone. What if he comes back?
Let him. We'll throw him a party where he gets kicked in the asshole. Okay, thank you very much for watching, guys. That's the hour mark, and I'm going to wrap it up here, but I will be back next time chatting more about things like mental health, things like sobriety, things like films, creativity, and everything in between, whilst playing more of this towards the end. So if you have any comments or feedback as to the new format, what you liked about the stream, what you didn't like, room for improvement, if you do like it, please do leave a comment and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking with me thus far. And if you want to share it with other people, that would be amazing. I really want to help focus on growing my channel, as clunky and as uncomfortable as that is for me to say. Your help is needed for that to happen. So yeah, please do share. Please do comment on how you think I could improve the stream, the podcast. Is it a podcast? We don't know, but let's try and find out, eh? It's an ongoing experiment, and I'm refining every time I go. So yeah, your feedback does matter to me. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Have a good week, guys. Bye-bye.